So at the end of the first year, it was like that I'm not going for coding stuff and all. So let's pursue my electrical side itself.
For the past year at Inside IIM, we have been conducting one-on-one career coaching sessions as counsel, short domain-specific courses as masterclasses, and university-affiliated certificate programs. Now, we are extremely excited to announce that we have a new home for all these highly rated programs in altuni.in. So, if you are looking to earn a high salary, get a promotion, switch jobs, click on the link in the description or just visit altuni.in. Thank you, enjoy the video, and don't forget to press the bell icon to never miss an update. Cheers.
So your first job was with Topper. So
Yeah.
as you said, it was not part of a college placement. So how do you approach this organization?
So LinkedIn has
Okay.
been a very important, crucial role in my life in getting into the making connections or getting in touch with the people and landing jobs and all. 8 to 10 months, I reached out to lots of companies, but in like after my college ended, after that I had message to a guy who is the VP product at Topper, and he has made some posts that he's hiring for some roles and all. So that's why I messaged him. Then he came back to me, okay, send your profile and all, and he shortlisted me, and then we had the interview rounds.
So can you tell us about the interview process, right from like the first step to the end step when you were saying that you were selected?
There were 5 rounds. The first round was more around the puzzle solving. They try to test your problem solving skills. So they gave me like 3 to 4 puzzles. I was able to solve 3 of them. Then the next round was around my experience in the college, and then there were some guesstimate problems. So when you are looking for an analyst kind of role, they always ask you guesstimate problems, like estimate the number of people living in some locality or the number of buses traveling from X place to Y place. Those kinds of things are there. Then the third round was totally focused on my the skills experiences that I have done. So what I did as my into my extracurricular things, how what changes did I brought, and then my project side. Then the fourth round was more on the hard skills. So they asked me questions around SQL, the Python, those kinds of things were there. So how you can analyze things and writing all sorts of queries. Because as a data when you are working as an analyst, you have to analyze a lot of data. So for analyzing that data, you have either using some tools like Google Analytics or Tableau, or you write SQL queries on raw data and then you make sense out of that data. So that was the fourth one. And then the last one was with the team that I was supposed to join. So they try to gauge me, okay, how good am I at uh, interpersonal skills and whether I will be able to blend in with the team or not.
Tell us about what does Topper exactly do?
So Topper is an edtech startup. If you might have heard of Byju's, it's in the same domain. Started like around the same time as Byju started. So they are making an personalized learning app for the students of 5th to 12th, and it has like all the resources that a student needs to study while at home, or even if they are not able to make it to the school, then you can use those apps and all.
You worked in Topper Product Associate and then you got promoted to Associate Product Manager. Basically, I want to ask is what does a Product Associate do and how did it change when you became a Associate Product Manager?
Initially, my role was mostly concerned with doing the analytics part of the product features releasing that were happening and giving them my insights to the product managers. And then they used to figure out, okay, what should the next steps for them. So I used to deal with all kind of feature releases that were happening and analyze their data. Then the other senior product managers used to take the help out of that. And when I got promoted after that, I got into feature building and releases myself. So I got some projects of my own. I picked certain modules and I started building things on that. They have a sales team, so I built a new sales app for those guys to help them getting in touch with the student leads and then managing their incentives and all. So that was the transition.
So what are the like top hard and soft skills required to be an associate product manager?
Product management as a field in India is still very is growing. Not many people after MBA, at least for like 5 years back, not many people were getting into product management. And even during my time at college, I was not also aware that there's a role called as product manager. So first of all, as a product guy, you are an advocate of the customer. So you have to think about customer and you need to get into their shoes and then analyze, okay, this is how how he's looking at the problems, or these are the kinds of problems that he's facing. So what should I be doing to that? So then at that time the next step comes is for the problem solving. So you have identified that this is a problem. For example, if I talk about like Uber, so Uber product managers identified, okay, people want to travel from X to Y, but they don't want to hire taxis. Okay, then how should I solve about this? When you are thinking about a solution, you have to think like, okay, is it actually possible to build this or not? So you need to have a bit of tech understanding. Okay, these are how this is how the things work and all. You need not be very thorough with all the coding skills, because at the end you're not going to do that. But just a basic understanding. Okay, this is how the things flow, because it will help you modify. You understand your solutions that way, and even if when you are interacting with the tech teams, it helps. It's very useful. Then the next thing that comes into picture is your UI UX principles and design thing, because as a product guy, mostly people right now are dealing with the digital products, not with the very hardware projects and all. So as a digital product, there is a lot of designing things that is involved. Like there are hardcore designers for that, but even when you are thinking about a feature, if you have understanding of how basic UI UX principle works, okay, this is how the screen should be, this is where the button should be placed, this should be a treatment of this. For search, should there be a text box, or should this be just a button? So all those kinds of things. So UI UX principles come into the picture. And then the next is your business understanding. Even in product management, there are different kinds of sub departments that people look into. Some product guy look into getting the user on the app. Once the user gets on the app, then there are set of product managers who are building features to keep them engaged on the app. Then there are people who are whose role is to do the retention part, that okay, the folks has not got engaged with the app, what should I do to make them retain on the app? So that is very specific to the role that you are dealing with. Then comes the analytical part, where you have to understand, okay, I have made the release, but now you have to look into how the feature is actually behaving. Is it giving you the expected results or not? For my tech skills are like kind of okay, so I try to look more into the things which are like on UI UX side, or into the exact product management. So for those, there are for UI UX, if you want to understand, then there are uipatterns.com is there, UX Planet is there, then there is mobin.design, principles.design. And if you want to look into more into product side, then there is Product Coalition, Clever PM, Product Talk.
So you are right now working in Ghana.
Yeah.
So Ghana.com, everybody knows about this brand because it's obviously famous. So can you tell us about the whole process? How did you find this company, and then when you went there, what was the selection process, and what kind of question that they asked you?
I remember it was again through LinkedIn, not through direct messaging. It was some LinkedIn post, a job that has been posted, and they were hiring. So Ghana's parent company is Times Group, and the Times ka central team does the hiring for them. So they were initially hiring for Economic Times, but then somehow they landed me into the Ghana's site. And so I had like 3 rounds of interview for that. One was with the guy who was I supposed to work with. It was all about the features that I have built earlier. The second one was with my manager that was going to be there. It was more around it was again more around in detail the conversation about the features that I have built, what approaches did I took, and then the last one was with the CEO. He wanted to have, so I was getting hired for the monetization team. So I look into the ads piece into Ghana. So okay, so I am the guy that is hated by the most of the people because I'm showing ads, but that's important for using streaming apps, because there's a lot of cost involved in running these kinds of all those kinds of songs and all the distribution costs that's there. So the last round was with the CEO of having me an understanding of how the business side of the music works, how I would be able to monetize the app if I come into the picture. Anyone else who wants to join in, then obviously they have their recruitment drives which are happening across the campuses. But it's not very frequent. It happens like twice a year. Once a year they go for hiring. Last year they also hired from some IITs. And if the recruitment drive is not happening, then there is always a job posting available on LinkedIn. So for Ghana, at least they have been hiring via LinkedIn jobs. And then there's always a third way, which has helped me as in other job openings. So you reach out to the people who are working at Ghana and just ask them if they are hiring for any role, and just drop them their CV, and if there will be an opportunity, they will get back to you.
So how is the work that you're doing in Ghana different from Topper?
So first of all, my customers changed. Earlier, I was looking for my apps for the students in school, 5 to 12 students who are trying to do something with the studies, or there were my sales people for whom I was making the app. After landing to Ghana, my user base expanded to a lot. I have to make an product for people all over India, all different age groups, different kinds of occupations who are using Ghana in all different ways. For you students, it was still a very niche group because as a student, I knew that okay, these are the problems that a guy faces uh, during school times or not. But in Ghana, you have to look at the bigger picture. Okay, these are different kinds. You divide the whole user set into different subgroups. Okay, this is how a student thinks. This is how a working wife will be thinking. This is how daily working professional will be thinking, and then you figure out okay, these are the common traits, and then you try to build features on that.
In the whole corona pandemic situation, how has your work life changed, and how is it affecting the industry also that you're working, both in short term and in long term?
Work life, for me it has become better because I stay in Faridabad with my family. My office in Noida. Earlier I used to travel 2 hours one way to get to the office. Now I'm able to save that time, and my productivity has increased by working from home. Looking at the industry, so for us, if I talk about my team specifically, I look into the monetization part and all, and now people have stopped spending on marketing and all those kinds of things. So for us, in that way, it has impacted a lot. We are still waiting for the markets to jump back, and then people again spending back. But on the other side, our engagement thing has improved a lot. Now people are consuming more music there because they are at your home. In that terms, it is helping. But if I look at the overall business, it's very important that we are able to balance out both the things. So we're still like hoping that situation improves and market bounces back so that we are able to move at a much faster pace.
Any advice that you would like to give to students who are currently doing engineering?
Don't waste a lot of time. So see, once you get, so it's very normal for all the people that after getting into, so the kind of picture that has been portrayed for us, like college life is like totally fun and everything comes for very easy. So you need to tell yourself that nothing comes for easy in this life. There are a lot of people that you have to compete with. It's a survival of the fittest. So don't waste time in just going out and chilling out and thinking that everything will just come in your hand. It mostly happens because like people keep on telling them, okay, I just get into the IITs and NITs. Now you are in the good colleges, everything will come in your hand and all. It's not going to happen. It's not like Cooper says there will be a Akashvani and you get some gifted. You have to work for that. You have to grind, and then you get. Kill that thought that okay, everything will come for easy. Then don't go too hard on yourself. So this is because I have seen both kinds of people in my on the hostels that I used to stay. On one floor there was people who were just who were not going to classes, just chilling out in the hostels and all, and then on the other hand there were people who were just sitting in libraries. So you have to come out with a balance. That figuring out that balance is very it's difficult. Yes, it's not very easy initially, but you need to be you just can't go very hard on that. Then third, trust your professors. Understand that seniors are still in colleges and professors have been through all those life cycle and they understand how the things work. So they or the alumni, these are the people that you should be trusting more rather than your immediate seniors. They have been making the same mistakes that you all will also make.
Thank you so much, Vivek. It was very insightful. The whole conversation helped. I'm sure it's going to help a lot of students who are currently in the 3rd and 4th year.
Thanks for having me. It's been a pleasure.